Support for today's Cowboys episode comes from Vincero. If you aren't familiar with Vincero yet, they are essentially a design house for modern men and women crafting sleek watches, sunglasses, and a whole lot more. I love my Vincero products, and you will too. Tell you more about them later on in today's show. We begin with the C.J. Stroud rumors. As Mike Fisher of Sports Illustrated reports, the Cowboys are, quote, intrigued by Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud as a potential first-round pick. Very important to mention this immediately. Stroud's probably going to go top 5. Slides happen, but it'd be pretty surprising if he got out of the top 10. And it's important to remember that team liking top 5 pick or top 10 pick shouldn't be a shock. Like, the Cowboys like Will Anderson. Cowboys like Jalen Carter. Doesn't mean they're going to get them, but this gets reported because it's the quarterback. It's the sexy position. It's the big name. It's the Cowboys. That all starts to understand why it ends up getting reported. I do want to mention this part. It's important to figure out, okay, how are you getting C.J. Stroud? Well, we got to get the top 5 most likely, right? Well, you would trade Dak. You trade Dak Prescott right now to get that top 5 pick, which the Colts could do and take on his salary very easily. You incur a $58.1 million cap charge. So you are paying your quarterback position a record amount to go get a rookie who I actually think player profile-wise, scouting report-wise, reminds me of Dak Prescott. Stroud's a very accurate quarterback, and when he knows what the defense is doing, things result in very impressive fashion. And I think it's also fair to point out that they benefited from the likes of Marvin Harrison, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Garrett Wilson. That guy's going to have played with 5 or 6 first-round picks at wide receiver. That is important to remember as well. I like C.J. Stroud. I think it's understandable that the Cowboys are intrigued by C.J. Stroud. I think they'd be somewhat intrigued by Bryce Young, despite his size concerns. The Cowboys should be looking at every quarterback because they need to be prepared in the event one slides to them. Similar, they were prepared back when they had a top 10 pick a few seasons ago. You got to know the value of the quarterback and be aware of what things could happen in the event there is an Aaron Rodgers type slide. In that situation, okay, well, if Stroud's there at 26, that's a different conversation than trading up to go get C.J. Stroud, where things start to get a little bit more uncertain and dicey, where it's just so expensive, as we'll get into here in a little bit. But the idea of adding Stroud and liking him are two very different things. When they do their board, they will include quarterbacks on there. Stroud will probably be top 10 on that board. And if he's there at 26, okay, different conversation. But sacrificing either your immediate salary cap flexibility, the big benefit of having a quarterback on a rookie deal then suddenly goes away for a year, or all of your draft capital, as we'll get into, isn't really that appealing. So in general, and we'll spend some more time on this here, do you want to draft a quarterback in round 1? Y for yes, N for no. It's the pinned comment on today's show. So if an ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there. Let me know. Specifically as it relates to round 1, I think there's little to no chance, and it's kind of slim to none, and Slim is on his way out of town, of Stroud being there. We've gone over how, even though I like Stroud the prospect, comps to Dak Prescott would make for a great first-round pick for most franchises, getting him without trading Dak because of the cap hit doesn't work. You have to move basically your first, second, and third-round pick if you're not eating the bad money from a Dak trade pre-June 1st. You get to 11, basically. That's per the trade value chart, by giving up your first, second, and third rounder. So unless you're just eating a bunch of bad money for Prescott, which, again, defeats the purpose, right? You're giving up your entire draft for a quarterback who's going to be a backup. Kind of defeats the purpose of adding a young QB, right? Like, unless you are convinced this is your new Mahomes. He's not, by the way. And if he is, teams are going to trade you for him. He's going to be gone in the top 3. It just doesn't make enough actual sense. I do believe that they are intrigued by Stroud and that they like him as a prospect, but the not going into the practicality of it, which we just did, it's kind of in the end, it's a nothing burger, because it only makes sense if he falls to you, and I don't think he's going to fall to you at all. Support for today's Cowboys report comes from Vincero. If you aren't familiar with Vincero yet, they are essentially a design house for modern men and women. I'm rocking one of their watches right now. I have several of them. They're among the favorites, the best ones that I own. Vincero Collective is a premium lifestyle brand out of San Diego. It makes high-quality and affordable watches, sunglasses, and jewelry. Based on the West Coast in San Diego, GQ actually recently called Vincero their go-to brand for modern accessories, and it's easy to see why. We're going through a bunch of the photos of those watches on screen right now. Men's jewelry is on the rise. You asked for, and they listen from pendants to chains to gold bracelet statements. Vincero is consistent with their jewelry drops. It's the perfect accompaniment to your watch if you want to go a watch and beyond there. You need to check them out if you have not already done so. Go to vincerocollective.com/chat. That's VINCERO collective.com/chat. And use code chat to get 20% off and free shipping on all their elite affordable watches and men's jewelry. That link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. It's vincerocollective.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping on all their products, like this watch I'm wearing right now. On the opposite end of the go take a quarterback in round one is the extend Dak Prescott. Now, Bobby Belt reports the Cowboys will try to work out an extension with Dak Prescott, and I'm very intrigued by the number involved here. He says the number could be around $46 million per year. That is impactful because it is $6 million more than the current deal, which, by the way, is actually not that bad of a number, especially with the report of Daniel Jones wanting $45 million per year and the ever-rising quarterback contract market, which we will go more in depth to here in a little bit. But of the two hypothetical ideas, which one, you got to choose one, no cowards allowed here, which one would you rather do? For extend Dak Prescott at, let's say, $46 million per year, or 7, CJ Stroud's number, to move up for Stroud early in the NFL draft? You got to pick one. No finagling and picking the middle ground there. 4 for extend Dak, 7 for trading up for CJ Stroud. Let me know in the comment section. And that $46-ish million per year number is significant because it puts him right around the Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson conversation. And that is behind Russ, who, oopsie, he's cooked now. The Mahomes deal was a steal for Kansas City. Honestly, Mahomes' agent kind of messed up a little bit there with the way he did that one. I think the Rodgers deal was kind of the outlier deal because it's a very weirdly structured with a lot of back-end money, so kind of tossed that one out of the resume there. But it's noteworthy because Dak has done more than what Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson have done in their careers. Those two quarterbacks have not done anything better than what Dak has done. And frankly, let's say it's 46.5. You beat Kyler, you beat Deshaun. Third highest paid quarterback right this second. That is a team-friendly deal because if you actually show urgency at the quarterback spot for the first time ever, it will not be a top 5 deal for very long because there are 4 quarterbacks who are going to be angling for even more money. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts even, I think, who has done more than the Murray and Watson conversations. That is significant. $46 million, I know there's the sticker shock involved there. I know, remember folks, the salary cap has gone up by $100 million in the last decade, and it's only going to go up even more in a short time. Just went up $16 million. It's going to skyrocket. Don't worry too much about the sticker shock there if you're smart the way you structure your deals. That deal is team-friendly, as weird as it might sound. What was not mentioned was the guaranteed money, and there's been big differences there with Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and, of course, the outlier Deshaun Watson contract of a fully guaranteed deal who hasn't, he didn't play much football until last year, so you're kind of calling it a wash in the end. I don't think Dak's going to get or ask for, a fully guaranteed deal. We'll see what Lamar does. That's been a sticking point there. Teams are trying to not give it out. That could cause problems there in the short term and the long term. But you give him 46 right now, start of next season, he's not a top 5 paid QB. And by the time that deal's over, he might not be top 10, to be honest there. Some more Cowboys offensive conversation coming. But first, do you want Cowboys videos every single day, sometimes multiple times per day? Then subscribe Free videos every single day right here on the Cowboys Report. Let's talk offensive changes. Dak Prescott spoke with Jory Epstein about the Cowboys' changes under McCarthy with, Kellen Moore gone and whatnot. Dak said about 20 to 30% of the offense will change. I don't know what that in particular means. Maybe we'll get some answers at the Combine in terms of what the particulars are. Does that mean like terminology? Does that mean we're changing game plan stuff? We're not going to call the curls every other play? The particulars are what matters so much on that front. Now, here's what Dak said. Right now, Mike's doing about 20 to 30% change. I think, if anything, it's things that need to be changed. It's good to dial in, fix some things, get sharper and crisper. I'm excited. Sometimes change is good. I'm a big believer in change, and I'm excited for Mike calling the plays. I'm excited for Schotty. That's Brian Schottenheimer, by the way. I'm excited for just being able to dial in this offense and really get to where we want it to be. I'm excited as hell. I hope this works. There is some semblance of risk involved here because you're changing things. And an extreme example is how much worse things went for Derek Carr this past year with the Las Vegas Raiders. I have a bit more faith in McCarthy and Prescott than I do Carr and McDaniels, but that's beside the point there. Hopefully the change works out. I think some change was needed. There were disagreements in the offense, and I think that did lead to some disjointedness in the overall philosophy. Maybe one consistent voice will result in fewer interceptions and more consistent play, and that leads to overall highs. For an offense that's been super successful between Kellen and Dak, it's been a very successful offense. So what is your confidence level in Dak Prescott? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Go vote for me right now in the comment section.